Yeah, I forgot to cut the label off my water.
Well, we're live now, so
I'll put the label in my pocket.
doesn't matter.
Wait, we're live?
Yeah, he literally pointed at you. You didn't.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Atomic Mass Transmissions Live. I'm your co-host, Dallas Kemp, and with me today is, as usual, normal usually, Mr. Will Schick.
How you doing, guys? So what we got going on today, Dallas?
We're going to paint some stuff. I have the Synthoid Avenger Vision.
Yeah, the Synthesoid Avenger Vision.
Synthetic.
Yeah,
Synthetic
he's artificial.
Avenger.
He's an artificial man. He's not a real man. He's an artificial man.
And you have the White Wolf.
I do. Well, yeah, that's a different character in the comics, but yeah, I have Mr. Winter Soldier, Bucky Barnes, James Buchanan Barnes. So we're gonna paint them up, and then I'm told that maybe we have like some cards or something to show off a little later.
Perhaps.
Okay.
No, we just led with it.
Did we? I thought that was the point.
Lead with the team.
I don't know. We don't get a plan ahead of time, so.
We don't plan anything. We're
All
making
right.
it up as we go.
Let's do this. So how are you going to start here? What vision are you painting, actually, is the first question. Are you doing classic vision?
I'm going to go classic with the...
That's not classic.
Well, I'm going with the studio
You're going with the studio version? Because classic vision, there's a lot more yellow. It's a lot of yellow.
I mean, what part would you replace? Where would you put the yellow?
Like classic vision's all basically total yellow body. He's got the red face.
Yeah.
He's got the green on the cloak. I think his cloak's green, right, Josh? Remind me. It's been a long time since I've seen like the classic. No, classic vision.
Yellow.
Classic vision.
The cloak's classic.
Cloak's yellow.
Classic Vision's yellow.
All right, classic vision. Cloak's yellow.
Mm-hmm.
He had the green though.
Yes, he did have green, but the cloak.
See, this is why I always have my phone for reference.
Yeah, I have to have
But that
reference.
version, like the vision we did, that one's been like the color palette for Vision for like 5 years or something like that.
Right.
All new different Avengers when Sam Wilson was leading the Avengers. It's kind of like that's the one I remember that really like clarifying as the new look of Vision. I like it. It's a lot more visually interesting.
Visually visiony.
Visually visiony. So where are you starting?
Well, I'm just going to start with his face with this...
diving right in.
Scarlet red. Because I like this magenta for Vision. I think it really... It's just a nice part of his design. I like the way it looks. So I want to start with the reds. Plus, his torso is kind of inset a little bit. And I want to keep that easy, so I'm going to paint the red there.
I'm going to start with the pants on Winter Soldier.
And we talked about that. We actually did.
We did.
We actually did talk
We had a
about
lot of good conversations. So the first Winter Soldier that I did the pants like a really dark, kind of tactical blue, like a SWAT outfit blue. I'm going to go with the more military, like olive drab green, I think, today. We're going to see what happens. We're going to see how it turns out. I'm excited. So I'm just using...
Just exploring your options.
What do I got here? Yellow olive from the Game Color line, and I'm just going to mix that with a little glaze medium, and I'm going to make a wash. And then I'm going to wash his pants.
Take him to the cleaner.
Take him to the cleaners. Clean up them pants. All right.
Yeah, I'm just thinning down this...
In we go.
Magenta... what was it called again? Scarlet red. And I'm just kind of glazing it over my Zenithal Prime. And just working it into the areas that I want to be red.
Red.
How much of his leg is red?
Not that much that I recall.
I need references.
Well, you got the box in front of you.
Yeah, but the box doesn't have a full picture like where his legs are.
No, that's part of the part that you got to make up. Draw them the way you want. Draw them the way you want. Like we talk about, I always like to have my phone out, and then I have 2 or 3 pictures from various comic artists that I like the best. And I kind of make it up from there.
Yeah, just creating your own kind of take.
They're always, I don't know that there's ever 100% consistency in any, comic panel necessarily. Like, things subtly shift or change, especially between different creative teams for sure. So you just kind of you just go with what feels right. I think if it feels like the character,
That's all that matters.
that's what matters the most, right? So And then, you know, above that, it's what you feel like you want the character to look like. So if you want Bucky Barnes to be rocking some like leopard print disco pants, some Zubas. Was that the pass?
I don't know.
Were those the pants? Josh is too young. He can't help me here. You were live then, though. Like, you might have even desired a pair of Zubas.
That doesn't mean I was paying attention.
I think you were. They were the pants that had, like, they're zebra striped. They were like the MC Hammer pants. Really
Jinko
baggy.
jeans?
No, not Jinko jeans. That's different. These were more like athleisure wear before athleisure wear had a name. What? You laugh, but it's true. And everybody wanted them. That was like the thing. The sad thing is I lived through that craze, and I'm sure that a lot of people in my school and stuff had those pants. But like, I never knew about them as a child. I only learned about them later when I was watching I Love the 90s on some like TV show, and they were talking about what a craze it was. And I was like, I don't even remember this. Apparently it was a big deal, though.
The only thing that mattered, the only thing I remember wanting when I was a child that I never got was the La Run.
What?
The MTV La Run.
I don't even know. Is that a car?
No, it's a little scooter.
It was MTV had a scooter?
It's a unicycle with training wheels.
That's amazing.
I'll show you the commercial.
A unicycle with training wheels. Like, brought to you by MTV.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Well, it's not the craziest thing I've ever heard.
What if I did Vision like red and black?
That'd be pretty sweet. He'd be like evil Vision. Vision before he joined the Avengers. Or maybe reprogrammed by Hydra.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to do it now.
Hydra Vision.
Sounds pretty amazing. Brought to you by Hydra Vision. See, now I have the second decision you have to make on Winter Soldier is, do you want the arm to be bare so he's showing off his ripped muscles, or do you want him to be wearing like one of those tactical
hoodie?
Not a tactical hoodie necessarily, but like the compression shirts, you know?
Oh, yeah.
The stuff you wear under body armor. I don't like the bare arm, so I'm going. We're going in. Our Winter Soldier likes his modesty. He does not need to show off his guns.
He's already won that war.
Exactly. What's going on in chat, Josh? Help us out.
We're getting a lot of opinion. People like the red on the Vision quite a bit. We're talking about how you're not giving tickets to the gun show with your... No
gun show tickets. That's not this Bucky. This Bucky's very modest.
And some people are saying, yes, I have returned. Hello, everyone. I am behind the camera.
Josh is back. You left us for like a whole week.
I did.
It was really rude.
I was gone for a while.
You were. You went back to the mothership, though.
I did. I went back to the parent company. But I brought presents. We will have spoilers this stream.
Oh, my.
That's what you brought back from the Land O'Lakes?
I brought discussion points for the end of the stream.
Oh,
my.
Discussion points.
I didn't know we were doing
This
this.
is getting serious right now.
He's going to say optics soon.
The optics.
Marketing synergy.
Cross-company intrafacing.
I'm not at that level, Shik.
Oh, no? There's no intrafacing yet? Because there's interfacing and there's intrafacing. It's like an intrastate and an interstate. Remember when they tried to tell you that was important? I've never in my life heard anyone refer to something as an intrastate.
Isn't that just like a regular road then?
Basically, yeah. I think it's like maybe a highway, technically. I don't know. Within the state, but not without the state. Who knows? Look, it didn't make sense to me at the time. Never heard anybody use it again, and I can't say that I've ever been quizzed on it since. Somebody out there is like a cartography map road expert, though. They're going to tell us. They're going to be like, well, actually, it's like this. I'll be like, that's fascinating. And then we'll just go back to our lives of calling everything an interstate or a highway.
Or a parkway.
Parkway? No,
that you
there's
don't park on.
no parkways. I know. Now we're going to go back to that classic one.
Yeah.
Sweet. We're going to let this black wash dry.
Oh boy, here we go.
There any questions, Josh, or they're just along for the ride?
Right now, they just love your talk of business and roads. Some people call them motorways.
Motorways? Or
Motor.
motor?
Motor.
Did you say mortar or motor?
Both will work.
I love motorways. Like, that sounds really exciting. But then I think maybe it's like mortar, like you stick bricks together with, and that's less exciting. So it makes me think that, our friends in Europe, that feels like a European term, like mortarways, back when roads were built right.
We're getting a lot of compliments on Vision Sculpt. They love it quite a bit. So thank you for loving the miniature. We worked very hard on it, right, Dallas?
We did.
Dallas was all about pioneering that. I remember when you came up with that pose, and we were sitting there talking about, like, well, what is Vision doing? What do we want him to do? And Dallas was like, I have an idea.
It'll work.
And then he ran off and he started drawing stuff, and it was like, I wanted to, like, we talked about how to do the phasing, and Dallas came back and he had a little drawing, and it was Vision like going through the wall, and he's like, this is how it works. And we were like, that's amazing.
And we did.
Make it happen. And we did it. And it looks dope. Turned out really nice, and it's very fun to paint. Painted my Vision a few weeks ago, actually. It's cool. It's fun how you get to play with like that phasing section. You can just leave it alone. You can really go crazy with like a little glow and OSL.
Yeah, Brendan painted the studio one, and he's got the like blue cascading around the leg, and I think I'm going to mimic that because I really like it. But I gotta get there first.
You have a little ways to go. It's true. You got a little bit of a distance to cross.
We'll see what happens.
I mean, you could always just jump ahead.
45
and just
minutes.
say, hey, I'm going to do this. This is now what I'm going to do. All right.
I'm trying to keep this red like kind of dark, kind of moody, but I'm adding a lot of highlights. So I've mixed some hot orange with my scarlet red, and it's giving me this like really rich color, and I'm kind of just stippling it into some highlights. And I'm trying to keep it very moody for my dark vision.
Dark vision. So why
All 60 feet.
why choosing to stipple, and maybe explain what stippling is?
So stippling is simply using little tiny dots. If you've gone to a museum in the past, 400 years, you may have seen paintings by artists such as Seurat, and uses little tiny dots and a whole bunch of little tiny dots to create an image, creating light, shadow, and contrast. Pointillism, yeah. So you're basically doing the same thing. I'm just stippling, so creating little tiny dots all over where I want this hot orange, and it's just going to give a little texture, and then I'll smooth it out in some places, just kind of having fun. I'm not getting too crazy.
We're having a lot of questions about the Vision miniature in regards to the phasing leg.
What about it?
So people are asking, as I already answered on the chat, if the leg is complete. It is not.
It is not. There's no way to do that.
It's inside the wall.
There's literally no way to do that.
The files are in the computer.
So they want to know if you did not use the wall section, would there be like a hole?
I mean, you'd have to resculpt part of the thigh.
No, so I can show them. So see that foot? Can you see that foot?
Yes, you certainly can.
That connects to the wall, and then this part of the leg has a little hole on the back, and the wall has a little nub, and that connects into there. There was no way to physically make a leg going through a wall in hard plastic. The struggles of engineering.
They are understanding now. They are understanding now.
I like Josh's like updates. Like I feel like the eagle has left the.
They're definitely good, yeah. I feel like we're understanding now better because Josh is letting us know.
I'm just going to answer this one verbally real quick. We do not have any news regarding CP10. Do not worry about that, though.
It's not ready.
And it's not ready yet.
It's not baked.
We do not have news.
Whoa! What?
News about the game mats.
I've got some nudes for the game mats. But you
will
got to
be-
hit me up later.
But there will be news about those hopefully soon.
I don't even know what's happening over here.
I'm staying out of all this.
It's probably the right call. Nudes of the game mat,
It's
huh,
usually
Josh?
my reaction to
Anytime Josh speaks,
yeah.
just avoid it. Don't say a word.
This is why I'd rather type than talk.
Is it? Oh my gosh. I don't even know where to go with this show now. I think we're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're doing good.
I think we're doing all right.
How is your Winter Soldier, Will?
Oh, he's coming along. I can't believe you called me Will. I don't even know what to say to that. I'm not sure how to respond. Yeah, so I'm just basically using pin washes to kind of like pick out stuff. So I've done the face with a little bit of wash. I'll go back and clean that up once it's dried. I did a black wash, and when that dried, I'm starting to put over a blue wash to give myself a little bit of a blue-black for the underneath, and then I'll do a gray-black for the straps and the armor on top. So I'll get that differentiation between the two. I'm probably going to do the belts and the pouches brown, I'm thinking right now, but I might change my mind. And then I have to figure out what I want to do with the gloves, and those will probably be brown too. So yeah, it's just a lot of like picking colors to make sure that everything stands out and still looks good. Having success, all this good stuff, but mostly just trying to paint them completely with washes and make it quick and easy and fun. Letting that zenith highlighting or priming technique do all the work for me.
It does make it easier, doesn't it?
It definitely makes things a lot smoother. Once you kind of figure out, you just got to figure out your washes, and that takes a little bit of practice to determine how heavy you want a wash to be and where you want to apply them, and then learning how to layer two different washes on top of each other to kind of change values and hues is also kind of a big thing.
I need purple.
You should get purple.
Got it.
Nice. And what are we using said purple for?
Do a little shadow.
Shadow.
So mix a little red, scarlet red, and purple to create shadow for my scarlet red. I want that a little darker, actually. And that purple will accentuate that magenta, so, and especially now that I added a bunch of orange to it, it'd be a nice contrast. So you have this cool and warm combining right next to each other, so it creates more contrast. So really cool. There's two different uses of the word cool there,
It was.
so be mindful of that. Two different cools.
That's all right. There can definitely be multiple uses of the word cool. Putting them right next to
Like
each
the
other is
word trunk.
dangerous. Trunk?
I don't even know what trunk I'm talking about.
I don't even think we have a trunk right now. I don't think we have any trunks to speak of. We have no trunks, Josh.
Boo.
Thanks for that. That was...
Not sure what that meant,
That's what we needed.
Right.
Josh is upset with our lack of trunks.
I want to know what trunks he's upset with the lack of, though.
All of them.
There's so many different trunks. I know which trunks I'm upset about.
The elephant kind?
No. Although I will take elephants.
Then you're upset about the wrong kind of trunk. That's all I have to say. Because elephant trunks are the only trunks that matter. Josh knows.
I do.
Let's paint some little finger lines in there. Whoop. With that dark purple to separate the fingers.
Was that the finger line noise?
Whoop. More dark purple. How about some face lines?
Some false lines. False lines.
Chick, I notice you often begin your minis by painting the pants. Is that tradition for you?
Every day I wake up, I put on my pants first, Josh. That's just
the kind of man
how it works. Yeah, I guess that's kind of a nervous tick of mine, doing the pants. Now, what happens when a mini doesn't have pants, though? That's the real question.
The struggle.
These are the struggles. These are the struggles of my life. I'm like, there's no pants. I don't know how to start. What am I supposed to do here? Like when I painted Vision, I was lost. I was confused. There are certain things that I will never start with. For example, faces.
Oh, I start with faces.
Like Dallas is like, oh, I'm going to start with Vision's face. And it kind of gave me a mini panic attack because I'm like, that's the last thing I would ever start with. Which probably doesn't make any sense because if you screw up the face because you're not very good at the face, which I'm not very good at faces, then at least if you want to scrub it, you haven't done any more work. But I think that's the trick. By doing the face last, I'm kind of forced to live with what I've done. And so it motivates me to be extra careful and also to, not kill myself with perfectionism. Pants are easy. I don't know. You just do pants. Plus, it's always a big spot. It's a big part of the miniature. I don't have to explain myself to you, Josh. That's what I've realized here.
True.
Don't judge my art. It's my art.
And a question about Winter Soldier's pose and base. Can he go on any base, or is he designed to go on that one specific?
Oh yeah, this was just me wanting something different. He actually sits flat-footed, but I took, because I already have one that is basically flat, and I had this base, and he actually works really well. But if you notice, if you look down by his foot, you'll see that he's not actually flat. If you look close enough, so you can see that I just faked it and had him up on the step. But I put him on the step, and I was like, oh, that looks kind of cool, and it works, unless you really take a hard look at him. So I was just like, I'll have him coming down the steps. That's kind of neat. Looks like he's coming into action. But yeah, normally he just goes flat foot on the ground, so both the feet go there. But if you want to, you can definitely do this. And there are a couple other guys and gals that we've done who also can work on, like for my Shuri, I used the same base, and I put her rock on top of the curb, and that gives her some extra height, so it makes her look even more jumpy dynamic. Mm-hmm. And it's just neat. It just looks cool. And because of her verticality, you don't really have to worry about her spilling over the base or anything. Sometimes it's just fun to play. Sometimes you just got to play.
Make it your own.
Make it your own. Dal stole all the greens.
I got all the greens because I was going to paint green on my Vision, but now I'm not. I'm doing something.
You're doing something different, something else, something new. So I'm just going to go in and I'm going to use black green ink and thin that out nice and neat with some water and some glaze medium. And I'm going to go back to my pants that I love to paint first, Josh. And I'm just going to shade them. I'm going to do a little shading. It's going to be marvelous. Yeah, that's what we want.
My brand new brush is acting silly on me.
Uh-oh. It's the challenge with new brushes. You don't know them as well.
It's not broken in. Yeah, it's a stranger to me.
They don't always behave like your old faithful brushes did.
I knew its moveset.
This is what that TLC song was about. With the waterfalls,
oh, yeah.
They were talking about paintbrushes. Don't go chasing new paintbrushes, Dallas. Stick to the Winsor Newtons you're used to.
It's true. It's true.
Josh, I was really hoping that you'd give me a listen to me there and give me some support for once.
Oh, I bumped the camera. Sorry, Josh.
I'm busy getting yelled at the stream chat.
Why are you being yelled at?
Our friends from across the pond demand that I make you guys say trousers because pants mean something different over there.
That's true.
And I'm telling
But
them,
trousers is such a strange
and
word.
I'm telling them never. I will not.
You'll never.
Ever make you say that.
To be fair, the fact that you're saying never kind of makes me want to say trousers.
Or maybe this is reverse psychology.
Maybe. Who knows? You know me well enough. You know what you're doing.
You're Machiavellian like that.
Ooh.
If there's one thing people know about me is that I'm very Machiavellian.
The man that always gets what he wants.
So there. See, now our green's got some nice shading to it. Literally 2 washes done. Beautiful. Just going to call that basically good. And we got some military green pants going on for our James Buchanan Barnes.
My friends call me Bucky.
But the ladies call him Barnes?
Jim?
Jim? Oh man, you have destroyed my world. I do not like the idea of Winter Soldier being nicknamed Jim. Josh, back me up on this.
I can't do that, Will.
You can't back me up on the fact that, like, if they started calling Bucky Barnes Jim, like Steve Rogers just showed up and was like, "What's up, Jim?" That wouldn't bother you? It bothers me.
That is really strange, actually.
See, thank you.
I have good friends named Jim. What's wrong with Jim?
Nothing's wrong with the name Jim, but Bucky is Bucky. He's not Jim. At best, he's James.
Someday when he's like 80 and married, his
No.
wife calls him Jim.
That is a loveless marriage because of it, too. Like, it is just cold and unfeeling.
He's like, Steve's the only one who understands me.
That's right. Only his friends call him Bucky. You call him Jim, you're not his friend.
Yeah, you're his wife.
Precisely. Loveless. All right, let's do the iconic arm. I think it's arm time. Boop.
What color should a cape be?
I don't know what we got going on here. He looks like a Dracula. I love it.
He looks like a Dracula.
I love it. He looks like a Dracula. I mean, I kind of like the monotone gray-white thing going on with the cape.
Yeah.
It is almost perfect. He's like all desaturated.
Like white? Keep it white? Just darken it a little bit?
Maybe, yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Very monochromatic with the cape. Got the red and the black going on. It's pretty sweet. I'm going to steal this from you. This is now my vision.
All right. You can have it.
Can I?
Yeah.
Should fight harder for the things you love.
I'm fighting for your joy.
My joy.
So therefore I'm fighting for the things I love.
Debatable. All right. A little bit of, what is this color? The dark metal. Gunmetal. Some gunmetal over the arm. It's going to be great. Josh is typing away, having his own fun with the chat that he's not telling us about.
Tickety tack.
Tickety tap. Tappity tap. Tickety tap. Then I think I'm going to take that same chainmail.
I love chat, but Josh doesn't ever tell me what they want.
Maybe they don't want anything. Maybe they're just happy to be here.
Hashtag make chat happy.
We must have a black.
I'm using it. It's right
You're
here.
using it. That's why I can't find it.
Hence the black paint.
The black paint. I
Question
can
for
see
you,
it.
Dallas.
Yeah.
How can you paint a phasing effect on his leg?
What do you mean?
Like they want some tips on painting phasing effects.
Well, let's just do it.
Doing it live. Yes. Yes.
They ain't gonna like it, Josh.
Why not? Because it's live? It's not that hard. It's actually
It's not hard.
pretty easy once you know the trick.
So I'm just gonna pretend like the brick is painted, okay? So I need to pick out some colors. Blue?
No, blue's
Does it?
attack.
What? What color? Blue would make a good contrast to the reds.
I think it needs to be like reddish orange, man.
No. What? He's reddish orange. You need a contrast.
I don't buy it.
Green or blue? Turquoise.
Just go with blue. We know you love blue.
I like blue glow.
Yep. All your glows are blue. There's no
Is that
experimentation.
true?
Dallas Kemp, the blue glow guy. That's what they call you.
That's what will be on my gravestone.
So like he never left his blue glow period. They thought maybe you'd expand, but you didn't.
I refuse.
You did. Stubborn to the end.
Oh man. Few of you know. So I'm gonna use this and this and this. Yes, yes. Seems good.
All right, walk us through. What do we got?
So I'm gonna use this. It's called Heart.
Heart?
This is called turquoise in the game color line. That's bottle 72.024.
Oh, we're giving numbers now?
Look, it's easier to find online.
That's true.
Now what I want to do here is I want to create like a little phasing. So I'm going to put a little, and I'm going to use a second brush and dampen it. See how I'm bringing that slowly away from the area where his leg is touching the wall, Josh?
Right.
You're my avatar for the stream, Josh.
I'm nodding profusely.
Profuse. And this brush is just a little damp. You just want to create like a gentle gradient emanating from the leg with this hawk. No, it's not hawk. It's just, it's
Turquoise. Halcyon.
Halcyon Millenario. Then as that dries, I'm going to bring in some electric blue, which is super light. And I'm going to bring out some, do I want Arctic white or I want Arctic white? I'm going to bring in some Arctic white. If you want to get fancy, we can do some little
Some little hot spots.
some little energy lines. I like doing like little energy bits.
Some more stippling.
Yeah. So I'll just go.
It's the stippling episode. Stipple, stipple.
See how I'm bringing that around? I'm not making it perfect. That looks pretty good. Now I'm gonna, that is the turquoise, so now I'm gonna bring in the electric blue as this dries. Maybe I'll add a tiny touch of the turquoise just to tie them together. Add a little bit of that green to the electric. I'm gonna do the same thing once this is dry, but I'm going to keep it close to the leg. I don't want it getting too far out here. I want to keep this very close to the leg.
Like sweeping the leg.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny.
What kind of energy do you imagine? Do you imagine like lines? Do you imagine like crackles? What do you imagine, Josh?
I like the like ripple.
Some ripple, like water.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you can do that. as my paint dries.
They're also asking, would you put the effect on the other side of the leg as well?
You can.
What I would say is that when you look at that miniature, you'll never see it.
Yeah, it's way back in the back.
Because I had the same conundrum with mine. Like I did a lot of glow around the leg, and then I was like, oh, it's got to be on the backside too. It was probably 15 minutes of my life that I could just take back because you'll never see it. Because it's hidden behind thigh and cloak and wall, and it's so.
So I'm going to add a little white now to this. Let's have fun here. We're just gonna play. I'm gonna just draw some design, like Josh's ripples. So maybe it ripples like this. You know what? This isn't working. And there's a reason for that. Do you know the reason, Josh?
No.
Pop quiz.
This wall's too light.
Oh.
I need a dark wall. So let's do this. Let's widen our dark area. See, I did that?
Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of extreme phasing. Yeah, the wall is too light for my light paint. Need that contrast. So as this is drying, I want to create and maybe some little dots. Just because why not? This would look way better on a dark wall. Yeah, I need a dark wall to do this. Really good. And then I'm just going to keep getting a little bit lighter. Adding white. And smaller lines. And I just made up a shape. Can you see it?
Yep.
How's that look?
That looks really awesome.
And if that was dark, you'd have much more contrast. So we can try to make this a little darker around here by washing in some of our black paints. Because contrast is just two things that clash next to each other to make it makes it more visually interesting. So by having this really dark color next to the very light colors, it makes the light color, dark colors get pushed back in your eyes, light colors get brought forward. So that's what you're doing here, is I'm going to darken the areas around this.
Getting a lot of compliments on this, Dallas.
Oh, thanks. Maybe put a little blue into my black here for these areas. Like, we'll just darken up these lines and the brick. Normally I'd paint this brick like red, probably. Like a really dingy red, but this works just as well. And see how that made that blue pop out?
Mm-hmm.
So normally I'd paint the bricks perfect, and then I'd go over it with my my special effects. Or my SPFX, as I like to say. Boo woo 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 woo.
Boo woo 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 woo
That's
woo.
the noise it makes when he
When he phases, it's not very stealthy.
Only he can hear it.
Oh, only he can hear it?
Yeah.
Maybe he just makes that noise with his mouth. That's
That'd
what he
be
does.
even better.
That's not the way it works. He has to make the noise himself. Oh, dropper bottles. And your cloggy nature.
Or white. I like mixing turquoise and white. Oh, such a good looking color. He's rippling through that wall, Josh, for you.
And I love it.
That's good. He did it for you. All for you.
That's like the movie, what's that movie? The Omen. I did it for you, Damien.
Jumps. Okay, real quick. Shit, how's your arm? I'm gonna look at the metal arm real fast.
All right, well, I'm just washing it with some black right now.
Now you did it over steel?
I did. And then I'll go back and I'll do a little bit of, like, basically edge highlighting to pick out the lines a little bit, and he'll be done. But I also did all the gun black. I did the shins. I'm going to go back and I'm going to darken up the boots. And what else do I have on this guy?
Darken the boot.
Got to darken the boots. Then I'll go back and do a little edge highlighting on some of the browns once they dry. Deciding whether or not I want to do the classic like white piping across his like leather straps, because for whatever reason he's very fashionable in the comics, and typically these little edges on his straps, which we made raised details, are white or like a really pale gray. I gotta do his hair, so we gotta get the Bucky Barnes hair going on, but otherwise, like, this guy's getting pretty close to tabletop ready in my opinion. He could go now. I mixed a black and the silver to make a really dark steel color for the gun. Guns aren't technically metallic, like not modern guns anyway, but it's a good way to cheat it.
I mean, that's our goal, is table ready, right?
That's all I'm worried about.
That is our goal.
I just want to play me a Bucky Barnes on the table.
But you're not allowed to finish until you get that red on that star, sir.
He's amazing. That's a rule?
That is a rule.
I can do that. I have a really easy way to do that, actually.
All right, going back to Dallas.
Yes.
What are you doing now? What are you doing right now?
I'm just adding more black to my costume and defining the black areas. Getting in those little inset lines to create the dark line between the red and the black before I go to highlight it. The black areas. Just defining.
Switch back, Josh. I'll show a really like grody trick. But it's a good one. So one of the things that you can do when you're doing like washes and stuff, so I've got like this really bright blue, but I kind of wanted to darken it up on the inside. So you can just take your wash and just run it over whatever you want, and then take your finger
Oh yeah.
and just wipe off all the stuff you don't want, and it leaves all of your nice little poppy highlights, and it puts everything in the dark spot. And it doesn't absorb, like your finger won't absorb the paint, it'll just wipe the paint off. So like unlike using a paper towel where you're gonna suck up paint you don't want, you can just wipe it right off.
It works really good for Spider-Man.
It does, yeah. So people always say, don't touch your miniatures when you're painting. Well, sometimes you want to touch your miniatures when you paint.
Agree.
Dallas, they're loving your wall so much, they're asking for any OSL on the leg.
A little OSL on the leg, sure. I mean, you're just going to do the same thing. We're going to go the opposite way. And we're just going to bring in that turquoise up onto the leg. So like, let's start over here. And once again, I'm using that damp brush. Now, the closer to your connection point, that's your hot spot. So I want to bring out and just barely have some of this turquoise going up. Maybe up the leg a little bit. And I'm going to work with the contours of the leg here. And this I won't have, I'm going to actually avoid the little ripples. I don't imagine his leg rippling. Like, Josh, you agree? Like he's rippling the wall, he's not rippling.
Right.
So I want to keep this smooth and not as dramatic. Maybe a little blue up here just to accentuate. Just a little line. Maybe this little line between there might be catching a little light. And then I can just lighten it up again. So by adding white, maybe a little bit of that electric blue. And I'm going to reinforce the join like that. And this leg, right where it's next to the wall. And then the further I get from the connection, the less bright I want it. So I might come back here with some white and highlight that, but I won't touch this leg right here. Right? And I might under highlight this knee. And maybe right here, because technically the top of this wall would be maybe phasing. Yeah, I really want to underlight. I think it'll look really good. Like those sweet highlights coming from the bottom of stuff always looks really cool. Now I'm just going to add more white and do it again, except for do less. Get right up there. Just like that. And spin around here. Maybe a little tiny highlight. And if the line's too long or thick, you can use that damp brush that I love so much. You can wipe it back and get a sharper line. Something like that. And you can accentuate that more or less depending on what you want.
That looks great.
Boo, 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 boo. Boo, boo,
What was
boo.
Chad thinking? Do you enjoy Dallas's vision effect?
Vision effect.
I want more highlight on the red. I think it's this color I like. Yeah. I'm going to use gold, yellow, and that orange color that I had. What was that orange color?
Hot orange.
Hot orange.
I'm going to steal it. Dallas, you seem to have pretty good vision.
I mean, would you call his vision 20/20? Boo.
And that's all the time we have today, folks. That's it.
If we were both painting vision, we'd have double vision.
Ooh, we should have coming to you in double vision.
Boo.
You
Wait,
can't.
We're not done.
You can't boo
Josh.
us.
Boo.
You did promise these people a card.
Not after those jokes. Not after those.
You
puns.
made the joke.
Those
You
puns.
can't
the
make
2020. The 2020 I did not make. And
Oh, is that the one that got
That's
it?
the one.
No. Come on. You're the worst.
Boo. Shake, how you doing?
Of course it was. I just need to make this arm red and this little star arm red.
You
and
did
I think we're
demand
good.
a red arm out of him.
You did. But yeah.
It's like kind of the weirdest demand I've ever heard.
Well, the star's got to be red. That's the rule. It's like I don't want him ever called Jim. The star's got to be red. We all have our things.
Jim Red Star.
Jim Red Star. Now that
He was probably a comic
definitely
book
sounds like a character.
Was.
Jim Red Star definitely came from the hard west off of his daddy's ranch, joined the military, was an expert tracker. Zero question, Jim Red Star is your expert tracker.
I think by the time you get down with these streams, like between Earthwolf
Earthwolf,
and Jim Red Star, we're gonna have our own comic line.
All right. Hopefully one
Why
of
are
the
you
fine
not drawing these?
hopefully one of the fine folks at Marvel who's watching right now gets inspired and we see a Jim Red Star or an Earthwolf roam in the land.
Josh and I, a couple was it a month ago maybe? We went to go pick up our weekly comic books together, and our pizza, because we got to stop and get pizza on our way to comic books, of course.
You really do.
You have to, and we created a whole super team.
Ooh. Can Jim Red Star join it now? Because I feel like he needs to.
Well, the tracker position is already filled, but I feel like
He could also be like, I mean, Jim Red Star probably.
it
what
could be
else?
after the death.
There you go. He could come in. People could not like him. You'll never replace whatever the name was of the tracker.
Like, and they'll scorn him at first, but then within the first mission, he'll prove his worth.
Well, yeah, because the rest of the team will get incapacitated, and Jim Red Star will have to save him. Was he a villain?
He was a villain.
Oh, we're thunderbolting this.
Who then?
Are you ready for this, Josh? Because I'm gonna do this star for you. I'm
Who
gonna do the
then
star.
became a beloved member.
I was talking about the star. I'm actually talking about. I'm not talking about painting here. All right,
I'm ready.
so all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna use the Model Air Red. Whoop, see it? Yay! I don't even have to really thin it out. I'm just gonna use the dampness of the brush to steal a phrase, and then I'm just gonna
That's my superhero name.
damp brush. I like it. And then I'm just gonna go in and I'm gonna sketch out my star, which is nice and super raised, so it's easy to pick out. There you go, shiny red star.
I love it.
One step. If I wanted to get really crazy, I could mix a little bit of that model red with some bright silver and go in and add like a little bit of spot highlight.
So did you glaze it over the metal so you got kind of that metal sheen to it?
Yep.
Nice, yeah.
Oh, Josh is coming over here.
He's got to inspect your.
Am I like well and truly done here? He's got to inspect the star. So yeah, if I just want to like spot highlight, I can just come in with a little bit of like pink action and hit the top of it. Boom, star.
Boom.
Looks fantastic.
He's very shiny. You wanted a shiny red star, you got a shiny red star. I delivered.
You gave him what he wanted.
Gave him what he wanted.
Any final painting tips, or do we
Oh.
move on to the treat?
Are we done?
Do we move on to the?
I mean, Dallas can keep painting, I guess,
I'm
but
still painting.
I'll
You
reset.
can do your.
I'll reset. Take the camera off me. Take me off camera so I can set up here.
I'm just re-accentuating
For the
this,
thing,
like,
for the
It's
thing.
been very good, Chad. It's
very
been very good.
evil glow.
Good behavior is its own reward, Josh.
That's true.
That is very true. But I think I'll run.
All right, you're gonna have to help set this up so
Okay.
that I can make sure that everything is good and proper and right.
I'm just gonna keep painting my orange.
Just keep. Well, you're on camera, so you gotta go.
Oh.
That is looking really dope. He looks like he belongs in Hydra. This is the right move.
I'm trying to really lean into like the fiery look of it, and like keeping everything very like those little dots and stuff. And now I'm just kind of spreading them out to kind of create a very kinetic, like energy effect. Maybe the red is like energy, like blazing across his.
Maybe he's just a human synthezoid lava lamp.
Yeah.
He's just got the bubbles in him. He's
Man,
like,
that would be freaking awesome. That'd be the greatest thing ever.
you're gonna want like.
That's a hero.
Or the full shot? Or
Yeah, I want
That's
the
a
full.
Or do we
hero.
pan?
No, just do the full.
Oh, I'm missing red. I need red on my palette.
Unless you plan on releasing the whole thing in an image.
I mean, we will.
I like that
Okay,
you guys
then
are
you can
talking like
pan.
no one is here, and they're
I know.
all totally
We're talking
different.
quiet though, so they clearly can't hear us over the mic.
Yeah,
Yeah. You're supposed to be talking over me.
I get enraptured by your conversations. And I was mixing
About our
paints, so
discussion.
I didn't have anything
This is what we're doing. All right.
Oh, here we go, kids.
Here we go. Kid. Oh, better keep that on. That's got a lot of glare there, maybe. All right, you tell me, is that legible? I mean, I'll still read it in my sultry tones, but
It certainly is. All right.
okay. All right, here we go. So, Winter Soldier reveal in 3, 2, 1.
And 3, 2. Thank you guys for being so good and staying with us because, you know.
I don't know why you'd want to leave.
That's what I
I
said.
never want to leave this room.
That's what I said. But all right. Here
This
we
is
go.
the bestest of places.
All right. You want to know what Winter Soldier does? Here we go.
All right, James
3,
Buchanan Barnes.
2, 1.
Oh, it's real. It's real. All right, so Winter Soldier, James Buchanan Barnes.
Oh man, I just did something really cool over here, and y'all missed
It's
it.
too bad. You just keep doing cool stuff. It's over now. We're done. All right, so stamina value of 5, movement medium, size 2, threat 3. So I think Winter Soldier, like one of the things we wanted from him and that you're going to see with the superpowers and his attacks is we really wanted Winter Soldier to kind of be a very good inclusion in a lot of different squads to kind of represent the fact that he's pretty nomadic in the comics. He's been all over the place. He kind of just randomly shows up. He helps out or he hinders based on what the storyline is, and then he kind of disappears. He doesn't really have an allegiance necessarily in a lot of the storylines, or if he does, it's fleeting. But as Winter Soldier, he's kind of his own one-man army. So Threat 3 really felt right for him in terms of what we wanted out of the character. He has pretty solid stats. He's got 3 physical, 3 energy, only a 2 mystic. As we know, Winter Soldier has a lot of KGB conditioning. He's got that Red Room kind of training. So mentally, he's not exactly as strong as some of the other characters. So we wanted to represent that kind of in the stats to reference the idea that he has been brainwashed before, and it kind of happens from time to time, depending on who gets his hands on him. His first attack is pretty juicy. It's an assault rifle, physical attack. It has a range of 5, so this guy can shoot across the board. Only strength of 4, but still that range 5 really allows him to apply this wherever he wants. And he's got a couple of ways to really make good use of this basic attack. Of course, after this attack is resolved, this character gains power equal to the damage dealt, so very classic for most of the basic attacks. This is how he's going to generate a lot of his power. And it has wild bleed, so after this attack is resolved, the target character gains the bleed special condition. This honestly, like in a lot of testing and games that I've played, overrides even the lower strength of the assault rifle. Applying bleed from range 5 on a character is it's huge. It can be really dramatic over the course of the game, and it can force some really hard activation choices for characters. So almost more than the damage itself, that bleed can be so clutch. And then we have his big attack, his big explosive flashy one. It's a physical attack as well. It's called Red Fury. So this is a range 2, strength 7, power cost 4 attack. The big thing on this one is not necessarily the strength, but it is the special rule that follows, which is after this attack is resolved, the target character is pushed away from this character's short. Then immediately make an assault rifle attack targeting that character. So this is like Winter Soldier just beating the tar out of you, kicking you back, grabbing his gun, picking it up, and then shooting at you.
That ability is so good.
It's pretty cool. Not only do you get the push, you get the free assault rifle attack, so you might be able to apply bleed. You're going to gain power potentially from the assault rifle attack. So a lot of good like synergies going on there. And just a super fun like cinematic attack. Like in my head, I can just see him just wailing on the dude. He like uppercuts, knocks him back, and then just unloads a full clip into the poor target.
While they're still in the air.
While they're still in the air, yes, like skeet shooting.
Yeah.
He punches them with a metal uppercut and then just like pull! All right, so those are his 2 attacks. Obviously very focused on physical, but he has a great range on that initial attack, lets him camp, sit back on objectives, and still apply damage where he needs to. But the special, or the superpowers that we're going to go into also have some pretty fun applications. The first one is Hydra Tactics. So we wanted to kind of replicate the idea that, Winter Soldier has been a villain, he's been a good guy, he's kind of been all over the place, but he operates as a one-man operative and he's kind of sneaky and therefore he's pretty stealthy, able to get around the table. So Hydra Tactics is an active superpower, cost 2. It's choose another allied character within range 2 of this character. Place this character within range 1 of that character. So this kind of shows that maybe Winter Soldier is out of range for Red Fury, but he's got the power to Hydra Tactics, and there's a friendly allied character nearby. He can kind of like teleport to kind of show that sneakiness, like that covert action. Or after he's made an assault rifle attack or a Red Fury attack, he can use Hydra Tactics to get back out of range or out of danger. So he's really hard to pin down, and this is kind of that move and fire mentality that we'd expect Winter Soldier to have as a highly trained rifleman and soldier. The next superpower is pretty fun. It's a reactive superpower called Got Your Back. This is cost 2 again. If an allied character is dazed or KO'd by an enemy effect, this character may use this superpower. After the effect is resolved, this character makes an assault rifle attack against the enemy character that caused the effect. So when one of your characters gets dazed or KO'd, Winter Soldier can spend 2 and immediately make an assault rifle attack against the character that dealt the killing blow, as it were, or the final blow. Really pretty cool, especially when you consider range 5 in the assault rifle. So he can apply this in a lot of situations, and it can make the difference. Like when your character has 1 or 2 health left, and you're going to go daze that opposing character, and Winter Soldier's in range with the power to do Got Your Back. You kind of have to weigh that because Winter Soldier might just drop you as well. Probably the sexiest.
This is the one they're all losing their minds
Probably the sexiest
right
superpower that he has. We talked about it at the start. I kind of referenced it. Winter Soldier's been everywhere. He kind of shows up and does what he does. And we didn't really want to pin him down to an affiliation or several affiliations. So we decided, let's just do Rogue Agent because I think this really embodies Winter Soldier as a character. And so Rogue Agent says, one character with Rogue Agent counts as an affiliated character during squad building. So what this means is that Winter Soldier can't necessarily use Avengers cards, tactic cards. He can't use Cabal tactic cards if you're playing affiliated Cabal, but he does count towards your affiliation. So if you wanted to, say, make a Wakanda affiliation, you could use Black Panther, Shuri, and Winter Soldier, and then any other character, and then another 2 characters if you had a 5-character squad. Winter Soldier is going to let you use those cards, so you'll be able to take affiliated team tactic cards. You're also going to be able to use the leadership if you're taking a character with an affiliated leadership. So Winter Soldier, again, really fluid, really kind of works in a lot of different squads. And I think he's going to be a very popular roster choice for the flexibility he brings as well as the impact he brings on the table. And so the last one that we should cover is his final superpower. It is a innate superpower as well. This is called Spetsnaz Training. This character may reroll 1 die when either attacking or being attacked by a character that is within range 1. So when he gets up close and personal, he's going to be able to use those knife skills to basically make himself a more deadly threat, or to be able to survive attacks better. So this is kind of a nice nod narratively to the character, to his training, and we really like to put in those flavor bits when we can. So that is Winter Soldier's standard healthy side. If we flip to his injured side, the only change you're going to see is that his stamina goes up to 6, so he gets a little more resilient, but otherwise everything else in his kit is exactly the same. So again, a great, really useful 3-point character turret. Can sit in the back, shoot, has some really good applications up close. Hydra Tactics can be just clutch in a lot of situations. And of course, Rogue Agent makes him fit in a lot of different places. So character I'm really thrilled with. I think it's Pagani's #1 favorite. He always calls Winter Soldier his boy. He loves Winter Soldier. Never goes anywhere without him. And so just an awesome character, really fun to play with. Fits in so many different squads and rosters, and just is a great 3-point option, 3-threat option.
So a couple quick questions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing a lot of things about Got Your Back.
Yeah.
Do you still need to be within range 5 to?
So you're going to make you don't necessarily, but you're not going to be able to obviously target. You're not going to be able to hit, right? Because you got to make the attack. So you're making an attack action, which means that you still have to have range. But nothing would stop you from spending the power if you just wanted to ditch 2 power. Right. It'd be weird, but yeah, it doesn't infinitely extend the range of the assault rifle. You just get to make an attack with the assault rifle.
And then we're also getting asked, can you stack Got Your Back with something like Seeing Red? Wasn't sure how the timing on multiple effects like that.
I don't have Seeing Red in front of me, but I'm pretty sure you could. Okay. Because you would get to resolve each one as you wanted to, as long as the trigger conditions were met.
Okay. Can you still gain the leadership of the squad's leader?
Yeah, well, as long as it says allied character, right? So he's going to be an allied character in all the squads he's taken. And up to this point, every leadership we've had, I say up to this point because I never say never, but up to this point, every leadership is allied character, not allied affiliated character. So he will definitely gain the benefit of leadership, just like anyone else would. If you took Red Skull in an Avengers affiliated squad, Red Skull is still going to benefit from Captain America's leadership, assuming Captain America is in that squad.
All right, Chad, how do you guys feel? And how do you feel about Winter Soldier? Let us know, please, in your comments or on social media. And is that it, or do we have another special?
I think we have one more. So you wanted to show off one of the tactic cards.
Yeah,
that comes in the box, and so we picked probably the most fun one, the most thematic and juicy, since we were showing off Winter Soldier. So this right here, I'm going to make sure that I'm in frame because I don't think this is going to work. So this is one of the tactic cards that comes with Winter Soldier and Vision. So Till the End of the Line. And we see that it's Captain America and Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier, back to back fighting off enemies. So let's see what it does. So we flip it over. It is unaffiliated, and it is an active team tactic card. So it has to be your turn when you play it. Winter Soldier and Captain America may both spend 2 power to play this card. Well within range 1 of each other this round, these characters cannot be moved by enemy effects, so no throws, no pushes, and combine their defensive values when creating the defense dice pool when defending against physical or energy attack. So those doing the math, at base when these two are till the end of the line and within range 1 of each other, you're going to be rolling 7 dice on physical defense and 7 dice on energy defense for both of them. And that's like before you start adding Vibranium Shield into the mix for Captain America. You can't move either of them, so as long as you keep them within range 1 as the active character, they're not going anywhere. And this just we wanted a team tactic card that really showed the fact that these two are close comrades. They fought over and over again, and they kind of just naturally know how to guard each other as they're in the midst of combat. And they can just hold down the fort if they need to. So there you go. So that's Till the End of the Line, one of the team tactic cards that comes in the Vision and Winter Soldier pack. And when's that pack coming out, Josh?
That pack, we get that asked a lot, is coming out in February.
February, yeah, right alongside the Asgardians. So Thor, Valkyrie, and Loki and Hela. And of course, our commercial truck, the garbage/chemical truck, the awesome terrain piece that's coming there. So all those things will be out next month. Super excited for them. Just a ton of fun. You should switch over to Vision so they're not looking at a blank table because that's not super exciting.
Oh, I'm just reading the comments.
He got excited on the comments.
He did.
The comments are so great.
He got lost.
And yes, it's February 2020. Yes, you jerks. I gave you so much today. Don't give us that guff. It is.
Don't poke the bear.
It is because I will not give you anything else ever again.
Oh.
Wow.
It is.
This is a bold claim.
Josh, you need to calm down, sir.
That was Josh's last day as marketing manager.
That was it. You get nothing. Yes, February. So literally just a few weeks, guys, and you will be able to purchase these in your local store. So Dallas, look at your vision.
Look at my
one more
vision.
time.
I was painting him while you guys were looking at the cards, and I added more yellow and painted his eyes, and I really like the way he's looking. Look at him.
He looks dope. I'm excited that I'm stealing him.
Steal him all you want, whatever.
Steal him all I want?
Steal him all you want.
I want to steal him so much. Can I steal him multiple times?
Yes.
It'll feel so good. I'll just casually put him back and then I'll steal him again whenever I'm feeling down. Be like,
I want to paint
yes.
his black parts black like the void.
True black? How would one make a true black?
True black? Like black?
Like black like the void.
Man, we're getting into inks now because I can make a super black with the proper application of inks. Because you need like a turquoise ink and your black paint of choice and maybe a blue ink depending on your turquoise, and you can get like a super mega black paint. It's pretty rad. It's pretty neat. I'm just using game color black right now. It's pretty good. It's pretty black, but I just want it super black.
Are there any other questions that we should address? Comments? Have people accused us of losing our minds?
There's been some of that. You know, I won't
Accusing
lie.
Josh of losing his mind.
No, I am benevolent today.
Wow.
I am good today. I think that's it. I think we're gonna wrap up for today.
That's it? That's all we got?
That's it?
That's it?
I'm still working on my guy over
It's
here.
a good working on your guy.
Look at him.
This was a good stream, I think.
This was a good day?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Josh got rowdy, so
He did get really rowdy.
I love
true.
rowdy Josh.
So I suppose you're going to make us stop so that we can
Go back to work.
That's right.
go back to work / do the outro.
We do have other things we need to do.
Do we?
I think so.
Do we? Do we?
I mean, I got cool things that just showed up on my desk.
That's true. There are a lot of things that need our attention right now. All right, let me finish this line and then
That
I'll
was
take,
like a teaser,
take us out.
like one of those mean teasers almost.
Was it? I mean, this is just truth.
It's just true though.
If we don't ever have that to say, then like that means that eventually there'll be nothing cool for everyone out there. So it might be mean, but it's also probably a pretty good thing to say. That's how I'm taking it. Sorry, I have to fix this line. It's bothering me. My perfection streak says that it must be better.
To the end of the line, Josh.
Josh could do the outro. We could just sit here and paint while he like takes care of
I'm
it.
sure it's gonna evolve to that someday.
Do it. Do it. We're painting.
You know,
We're not going to stop until you stop us. So
All right, let's do this, Josh. Let's do this. Take it out. No, take it to me. Take it to me. I give you this one. I give you this one. I know. I'm cheating for him. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us today as we did a really awesome vision, a very common but equally awesome Winter Soldier. We took a look at Winter Soldier's stat card, his tactic card. Look, mine is very, I'm just saying mine is very, tried and true. I didn't go crazy. You started tried and true, and then you came out with, evil vision.
Yeah,
I love it. I love evil vision. It's probably my favorite thing ever. But yeah, thanks for joining us. Be sure to check out our social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, as well as our website, atomicmassgames.com, for all the latest and greatest Atomic Mass games and Marvel Crisis Protocol information. We love to see all the stuff you guys are working on as well. I know that Venom and Shuri and Okoye are out in the wild right now. We've seen some pretty awesome paint jobs. Keep those coming, as well as the recaps of all the games that you're playing with all of the Marvel Crisis Protocol. We love seeing those as well. Look for us next Thursday at 1 p.m. Pacific as we come back for some more Hobby and Hang. Maybe we have a couple more things to show off. I don't know. Josh is the man in charge. He will let you guys know through our social media outlets what to expect. And Josh, do we have anything else to announce about next week that we want people to watch out for?
there will be a special Penny Arcade stream happening next Tuesday. Stay tuned on our social media. for more information.
Yeah, so we're going to go back down to the guys at Penny Arcade, and we're going to play some more games with them. Be sure to watch that. It's always a blast to be with Jerry and the rest of the crew. So we're going to have a whole lot of fun. We got some special things planned, so be sure to check that out. Let people know that they can watch us there as well. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining us, guys. We look forward to chatting with you and seeing you next Thursday.
And seriously, share your painting. We love them.
Goodbye.
Bye.
He goes to the outro. The screen is up. Things are happening.
Like lava.